Okay, so welcome everyone once again to one of the Cork.net and Azure Meetups. Today we have with us Gabriel Baptista, and he's going to talk with us. He's going to talk to us about enabling continuous monitoring with Azure Monitor. So the floor is yours, Gabriel.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ricardo. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to share my screen, right? Just let me know if you can see it. Hold on a second. Yes?
Yep.
Yeah, great. So once again, thank you. Thank you for the community. It's always a pleasure to talk about Azure, to talk about DevOps. We're going to talk a little bit about DevOps here, right? And in this session, I discussed with Ricardo a way to talk about a little more specifically related to continuous monitoring, right? Well, as Ricardo said, I'm Gabriel. I'm from Brazil, so I'm a little bit sorry about my English. If you don't understand a bit, just let me know and I can try to repeat again, right? And let's go. Well, when I talk about continuous monitoring, the first question is, why do I need this, right? Why do I need continuous monitoring? Well, you need continuous monitoring because probably you are working in a scenario where DevOps is the philosophy that you intend to apply, or maybe you are applying this philosophy. And there's no way to have continuous feedback. That's the last step, let's say, of a cycle of DevOps without continuous monitoring. I mean, continuous monitoring or continuous feedback is part of DevOps. You have to understand that as a DevOps professional, or better, as a DevOps philosophy, you've got to work in a way where monitoring is part of your development lifecycle, right? That's the point that I want to discuss here, right? Just to remember, we're talking about DevOps, and DevOps is the union of people, process, and products to enable continuous delivery of value to our end users, right? So basically, what we're talking here is that we use monitoring to have feedback about the production environment that we are delivering to our end users, and checking if there's something wrong, or if there's something wrong, or maybe there's something that's not working properly, or even reducing costs related to this environment, right? So that's the idea of this presentation. We need to understand as developers how to monitor our production, because probably we're going to work in a DevOps scenario, and in this scenario, we need to deliver continuously value to our end users. Right? That's the reason why we're talking about continuous monitoring today. Yeah. So we need to understand that every step that we take from the beginning of a development to the end of a development, we are trying to accelerate the process of developing a solution. And the fastest you build a solution, the better, right? And this is why we go to cloud. This is why we start a DevOps philosophy. This is why we start monitoring our production environment. So we want to deliver fast. We want to deliver code better, but we cannot forget about scalability. We cannot forget about performance. We cannot forget about security. We cannot forget about environment cost, right? So it's pretty good to have a really fast solution deployed in Azure, for example. But on the other hand, you cannot forget about cost, right? Because if you have a fantastic solution, but it costs a lot, probably you're gonna you're going to have a problem related to the value of the solution by the end of the day, right? So the thing is, monitoring is a really important step in your development life cycle when you understand that you are developing solutions using DevOps philosophy, right? And thanks to Microsoft, we've got this really incredible solution that is called Azure Monitor, right? Azure Monitor is, I would say that it's fantastic, and I really want to have you chatting with me about it, right? Because if you never seen this solution, you're gonna see something that is really powerful, right? Really powerful to the production, right? To to make your code better, right? To prepare a lower cost environment, right? So it's not only a matter of monitoring, it's a matter of making things better continuously. Yeah. And how does it work? It works in a very simple way. You have, for example, application sites that you connect in your web page, your web app, your background services, right? With a minimal overhead. And this process attached to your solution starts monitoring information, collecting monitoring information that will enable you to have alerts, to analyzing Visual Studio, to analyzing Power BI, or even to analyze, as I'm going to show this today, in an Azure Portal, right? There are two alternatives for app insights. I'm going to talk specifically about app insights. Azure Monitor is a really big product in Azure, and I recommend you to check the QR code that Ricardo has presented to you, where you're going to check a bunch of information related to Azure Monitor. I'm going to go deep inside application sites inside Azure Monitor, right? And when you go to App Insights, we have two alternatives. We have an alternative called code-based, where you need to input some code in your web app, in your function, your Java solution, doesn't matter, right? You have an SDK that can work in many different programming languages, and it's multi-cloud. And we have the codeless solution, where basically you just click and go. You start monitoring VMs, app services, cloud services, Azure functions, and even Azure Kubernetes services, right? It's really important to understand here that there's a price for that, for this monitoring. You pay for data ingestion and data retention. That means the more you collect data, the higher the price is going to be, right? Okay, you understand that you're going to pay more when you have more access in your web app. So probably this is not going to be a problem, right? Basically, in my humble opinion, it's going to be a solution for many problems that you would have without it, okay? It's just important to let you know that codeless support in .NET 5 is not enabled yet, right? As you can see here, if you go in Azure Portal and try to enable application insights, that's the monitoring, you're not going to have this if you are working with Azure, with .NET 5, not yet, right? And if you Google internet, you're gonna find people saying, oh, this is not ready already, but it will be, right? But if you try to use the SDK, you're gonna have success, even in .NET 5, right? To me here, in this small example that I'm gonna show you, this is not the matter, right? I'm not worried about that. But
it's always a good thing to remember, right? It's always a good thing to think about. Be careful the version of .NET you're gonna deploy in your production environment, right? Why I say this, and I keep saying this, because as you can, as you know, or as you can check here in this slide, .NET 5 is available since November 2020, right? But it's not a, a long-term support version. And this is the second presentation that I'm taking this year. And in both scenarios, here in Azure Monitor and in Azure Functions, we've got some trouble enabling things in Azure Portal using .NET 5, right? And the answer is the same. We're going to wait to .NET 6 because in .NET 6 we're going to be long-term support, right? So be careful, again, be careful the version of .NET that you are going to deploy in production, right? So this is something that I always like to remember you, because it's really cool to have your website up to date. But on the other hand, you're gonna have some small troubles when you really want to deploy this to production. Be careful about that. Okay, so understand the kind of software you are developing. Understand if you are developing something where the time to market is now, and then I would not recommend you to have .NET 5 in production. I would recommend you to keep .NET Core because it's a long term, right? And for sure, after we have the release of .NET 6, then you're gonna have a better experience because it's a long-term support, and many services from Azure will be updated due to this long-term support version. Okay, up to here, right? Any questions? Nope. No. Great. Basically, I'm gonna show you a demo where I will need your help, right? In this demo, we have a bunch of things to show you, right? I have developed a really small solution, but it has 2 Azure functions. It has a web app. It has a connection to a database, and Azure Monitor and Apps Insights is monitoring all this stuff, right? If you take a look at this web link, let me share this web link to you. I do want you to, where is the chat here?
I can paste there. Yeah. Can we start banging on the? I'm just adding to the chat, so if you want to click the URL that I shared.
Here it is. Here you go. Right? You can. Don't worry. You can click. You can register. You can create an error. You're gonna send an email when this mail will arrive here in my email account. No problem. Feel free to click. Right? Yes. That's exactly the idea. Right? Let me go back.
Just to say that when you register, don't use your bank credentials.
Yeah. Please don't use your, or if you want to do so, no problem, right? No, I'm just kidding. Feel free to click, right? And get the errors, get the mails. I'm checking here that I'm going to receive a bunch of mails. No problem. And what we're gonna check right now here is, let's try to understand this presentation, this architecture design, because basically we have some good things here. Well, the first one is that I have published this in GitHub. Where is my GitHub? I forgot to get my GitHub. And I'm using the DevOps scenario, right? So if I am using a DevOps scenario, I need to have something like a continuous deployment. And I'm using for that this really new feature from GitHub that's GitHub Actions, right? And basically, you're gonna have access of that. And you will see that this action is deploying a YAML where I'm deploying a .NET Core web app here, right? That's the idea. With a secret, so no problem. After that, I will just delete this web app so you cannot send me bunches of mail, no worries. Okay, great. And then this is the sample from Visual Studio, right? Just click start new project Azure Web App, and then we have here register, login, and so on. Great. But I have implemented here two functions, right? Two Azure functions that I have used in another presentation that I took this year. That you will find this here. Hold on a second. This one, right? .NET Conf in India. Great, right? And here you're gonna see that basically what these two Azure functions do is by the time I send a request to send an email, it stores in a Azure queue storage, and then there's another Azure queue trigger that processes the email and sends the email to me. And as you can see here, I am receiving many emails, right, from you right now. Good. So basically, we have GitHub Actions deploying continuously the code to my web app, and then we're gonna have these two functions, and we have the Office 365 as a software as a service platform that is sending exactly the email, right? Good. You can check this code here. The code is quite simple. This is not the point here, but the magic is right here in Azure Web App. In Azure Web App, sorry, in Azure Monitor, in Azure App Insights. So as you can see, we've got here 215 calls, right, in the last hour. And we checked the availability of this solution and is 100% available. This is good. We have this connection to the database. We have 5 instances of the Azure function sending and receiving emails. And this is quite good. As you can see here, the average duration of the method send mail is less than a second, and the process mail queue is more than a second, right? And this is what we call application insights map, application map. Great. This is a good, this is a great way to check if everything is going good or not. For instance, we have here 4% of our calls that's not working properly. And we have exactly some errors that by purpose I made these errors happen, right? So we can check here, and we can go deep inside each error. That's what I really enjoy when I'm talking about App Insights, because I can analyze exactly what happened in each error, right? The kind of error that I'm receiving, the exceptions that happened, the detail exactly where this happened. So this is quite easy to analyze in a small program, in a small web app. But let's suppose a solution where we have millions of access during a day, during an hour, right? There is no way to analyze without a tool like that, right? And I can check even just my code. You see? And for instance, I know that some of the calls needed to access database, right? And I can check here in the performance all the calls that were made to this web app. Here we have. Oh, let's have a look here. Login. In this login, we can go to some samples. And in these samples, we can check the response. And here we have the transaction. And it says that it's connecting to the Cork database. And here we have the SQL command. You see? Gabriel, what exactly did you do to have this work in your scenario? I just click, right? I'm talking about just enabling this in my web app Insights. I have enabled App Insights. I have said that this is a .NET Core solution, and I have turned these profilers on. Okay, great. What can we do with this information, right? What else do I have here in the App Insights? Let's have a look, a deeper look here in App Insights. Well, we can enable something related to availability. So you can enable a check. You set up this, right? Where you just check, as you can see, we have here 100% of availability in this moment for this web app. And I have set up here two tests, one test from Brazil data center and another one from UK data center, right? As you can see here, the velocity, right? The time, the average time to access the website is lower here in Brazil, just because my instance of the web app is in Brazil. Whereas if I'm taking a ping here in UK, you're gonna have a higher duration, but the availability is 100%. It's a small test. You just define basically what you're gonna do, and it pings. But using this tool, you can check the availability of your solution, right? And for sure, you can enable alerts. You can enable some messages where you're gonna receive this using email or even an SMS. You can text an SMS to you, right? We have here the application map, as I told you. We have here the performance, and the performance is really good because you can check exactly where you have trouble, because you can zoom here. Take a look at this. Oh, let me check just this percentile of performance. That's where my bad performance is. And I got this. You see, home email takes a lot. Why is it taking a lot? Process mail queue is taking a little bit less. Send mail takes a little bit less than a second, right? And all the calls that I have, logins and so on. So this is a good way to check the operations in your system that are not okay. And what you can do is to check the code, check the performance, check the way you are accessing the data, so that you can understand where the problem is. For instance, here, send mail takes a lot for HTTP, but the Azure queue itself is not, it doesn't take a lot to access. Probably because I'm using here a solution in a free tier, so in free tiers, sorry, in a free tier, and due to the free tier, it goes down. The Azure function goes down every time I wait a little bit to access again. So the first time it takes a lot, then the second one and the third one, we're gonna have better performance, right? And what else I'm gonna show you? Oh, here we have the alerts where you can define these alerts, right? You can create an alert rule, and then create an alert rule. You can decide exactly what you want to receive. And this is something really, really nice. Here we have live metrics. Yes. This is really good, especially if you start clicking in the app. We're gonna check exactly what's going on in the application right now, right? So if I click, I will open another web page here. And let me go to monitor, yes. And then I'll start clicking. You're gonna check the telemetry. You're gonna receive the telemetry and check exactly what's going on. You see? It's live, all the instances, exactly what's going on. And then for sure, we can check here and go deep. You see, just got an exception here. Oh, let me check this exception. Oh, just received a process mail queue. Oh, have two new information, right? It sounds like Matrix. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but it's something like you are saying exactly what's going on in your application live, right? And it's pretty good because you can check the errors, you can analyze the errors, and you can get these errors done, resolve them, and commit again to the code using Azure GitHub using GitHub Actions, and you're gonna have this solved. And you're gonna check the performance of your application. You will be able to check that the server response time is lower because you have implemented the solution. The number of requests got higher, and you keep the same server response time. You don't have fail requests. So this is continuously monitoring. You see, you have to when we talk about DevOps, you have to understand exactly what's going on in operation, and it's totally connected to your code. That's why I think App Insights, especially if we're talking about huge solutions with millions of access a day or an hour, it's almost a precondition to have this deployed in Azure, right? Because when you talk about serverless solutions, or when you talk about platform as a service solutions, you don't have, you cannot access the server and try to debug your code there. So this is a great way to debug your code, right?
Gabriel, there's a question here. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
So Savit is asking if when you showed the errors and the logging, we were seeing the SQL command. Is it possible to see the parameters that the user used, or just
No, you cannot. You cannot, because probably you're gonna have maybe you have sensitive data, right? So you
That's-
cannot.
I guess Savit was trying to get our bank passwords, so that was
Yeah. No, Savid, there's no way, because you have sensitive data. So you're analyzing here just the query itself, right? Maybe you can, as I told you, there is the SDK, and maybe you can implement some
logging
logging
or something.
where you have this, right? But you have to be worried about sensitive data, so be careful about that, right? Of course, when we talk about this environment in production, we have a really limited number of people accessing this environment, right? Because we're talking about production. But anyway, I would say that it's not a good pattern to have
Plain text stuff passing over the hour.
Exactly. No, this is not a good pattern. Great. Well, back to the presentation. So we've checked the failures, we've checked the requests, we've checked the response.
He asked now what happens if it's a stored procedure, but I think you'll just see that
you're going to see just the
calling
call.
the stored procedure. And
just the call, exactly, just the call. You're going to see just the call. Something like it called the stored procedure. It's good. It's a great question here. Let me just get again the
you probably see something like
area.
exec and the stored procedure name, and that's
it. But you're gonna see something like the time spent.
Okay.
Let me just get here. Let me check if someone.
You can even use that to check for bottlenecks and efficiency on the
that's the idea. That's the idea. So for instance, when I register, it's not a stored procedure here, but we have a SQL command here. Let me get the samples. Here we go. And you see, we had a select here, and then we have an insert. This is crazy, right? This is something like, oh, we're just analyzing the register command with the time spent for the select and the time spent for the insert. And it took a lot for the select, right? My question is, why are you checking all the columns? Why are you selecting all the columns just for doing an insert? Maybe in a really big scenario, it takes a lot. You don't have to have all the columns selected, and you can perform a better code here where you do not have the scenario of bringing all the columns. So in the case of a stored procedure, you're going to check the duration of each execution, and this is pretty good. Okay. If you in SQL Server, we have Profiler, right? And Profiler is a really powerful tool that unfortunately in SQL Azure we do not have, right? But using Azure Monitor, we have something like Profiler here. Okay. Application map, smart detection. I will not able to show you smart detection, but I'm going to explain to you what smart detection means. This is the beginning of AI in this application insights, and here I'm talking about artificial intelligence, right? And basically what we have in smart detections, let me go to App Insights again. Here we go, smart detection, is that considering that we're collecting performance of each command, what application sites can do is to check during the time, right? If the amount of time used for this command is going is getting worse, so you're not having a good performance, and they send you an email. They say, hey, this is not good. We have an increase of a decrease of performance, not increase of performance in this case, a decrease of the performance. Please check it, right? And these insights are pretty good because sometimes you just change a little bit in your code, and you are not worried about that piece of code, and for some reason we got a better result, a worse result, and smart detection can help you with that. Live metrics I have shown to you. So this is the basic App Insights feature, and I do incentivize you to use the App Insights in your apps, in your development environment, for instance, to check it out, right? Check the price that you're going to spend with that, because it's kind of difficult. There is a free tier where I guess it's something around 5 gigs of data consuming. So we have a really good free tier, so you can analyze what's going on in your application. Wrap up. App Insights enables you monitoring your infrastructure in a way that meets today's DevOps reality, right? This is what, when I say continuous monitoring, I'm saying continuous monitoring using DevOps as philosophy, where every time you publish something new to your production environment, you need to take care of your production and analyze the feedback of the production. And App Insights for sure will help you with that. Keep measuring the cost of App Insights in your scenario. In general, its results overcomes the price paid. So for instance, today I paid a little bit in my production environment. I paid a little bit of some dollars to have App Insights in the production environment. However, the cost that I paid comparing to the results that I get, I would say the tool is fantastic. What I mean, Gabriel, I mean exactly this. Let's suppose you have an environment that it costs for you $1,000, right? And you have for this environment 100 users, but you keep monitoring using App Insights, and you start increasing the amount of people in your environment. But due to the better performance that you get analyzing the environment, you keep spending $1,000 and you start increasing the amount of people in your scenario. That means you have more users in your scenario, and at the same time, you're not spending that amount of money. So it's an investment. I consider App Insights as an investment, because you start investing in getting better results of the solutions that you've got, right? And then the refactoring it got easier, because you start refactoring exactly where the problem is.
Yeah, I was going to say that it kind of saves your life in case of a problem, but also prevents you to get to a point that you have a problem.
Exactly.
If you keep monitoring and seeing what's going on, you can detect, you can act on prevention instead of reaction.
Exactly. You start having, Ricardo, you start having a better approach for refactoring, because it's pretty good to refactor code, but the point is you need to refactor code where the code needs to be really refactored. And
you can pinpoint, you can direct your effort to the where it's being needed.
Exactly. And there's no way to get this without a tool like that.
Yeah, you can like log stuff, but I suppose it will be very hard to compile all the data and get all of these insights.
I would say impossible, considering the size of the solution that you are developing. It's impossible. Okay. Well, I guess that is. I have some reference here. Some of the reference that I have here, Ricardo has shown to you in the beginning of the presentation.
Yeah, I want to share the link again.
I want to say thank you very much. Obrigado, right? Thank you. It was really nice, and I'm open to some questions.
Yeah, we have 2 questions there. I don't know if you can see them, Gabriel.
Let me see here. The first one. I don't want profiler, just keeping. Where are the questions?
So you have a Q&A question, but I can read.
Oh, sorry. Here we have. Can the SQL commands be executed on demand? What do you mean by be executed?
Yeah, I think this question was asked when we were talking about seeing that this SQL commands were being logged when we were hitting the site. So I think Sean is asking if you can run SQL commands directly on App Insights.
No. App Insights is a monitor solution, right? It monitors your environment. So no, there's no way to interact with the platform there, right? That's not the way, Sean. Got it?
I'm going to allow everyone to talk. So if you want to
ask
questions and I'm not getting your point, just so Bart is also
there's a second question here from Bart. You shown the full web app of .NET and some Azure functions. Is it difficult to integrate this in an existing app? Do you need to set up the Azure functions as well? Well, this is a pretty good question, Bart. Let me go back here to Azure Portal. In my Azure function, I just let's go. In Azure function, I just set up the App Insights. Where am I here? It's not working. I just set up the App Insights, right? And in the web app, I just set up App Insights. It's plug and play, right? However, you can check here Azure Monitor, Azure App Insights SDK. And you're gonna check here in this web link. You have, when we talk about code-based monitoring, right? You have ASP.NET Core, Java, Node.js, Python, JavaScript, right? So you can connect and trace data for many programming languages, not only C#, right? Not only .NET. So it's possible to have it connected. Okay, Bart? Okay, Ricardo, I guess that's it, right?
Bart unmuted, but we didn't hear anything, so I think It's okay. Okay, I'm going to stop your share now and share
sure.
my a wheel of names. So we at the end of the event we raffle one JetBrains license. JetBrains is our sponsor, and we also have some books from Pact to publish. And so the way that we do it is I get the names of everyone that joined the meeting, and I add the names here. You can see it, right?
Right.
Okay, let me maybe see if I can do something, share sound, because the sound is the best. Yeah, as people come and go, I update the names. So for instance, Elias left and Pedro Santos also left. And we can shuffle a bit and then we give it a go. So I'm going to spin this for the JetBrains license. And Darren, he's the winner.
Great.
This is like the 11,000th license that you get now, is it, Darren? It's not saying anything. Okay, I posted the names of the books on the chat. I hope you had the time to go through them and see the titles. Where's my chat window? Yeah, here. My you can talk. The mic is open to everyone. If you want to say something, just unmute yourselves. The book titles is shared on the chat, and the software architecture for C# 9 and .NET 5 is a book that Gabriel, the speaker today, is a co-author. So yeah, you should be wanting that book. Okay, so I'm keeping Darren and I'm going to give it a spin. Pac told me to raffle 2 books of each on this meetup, so I'm going to be crazy here. So as your name come up, you just let me know which book you want.
Oh, great.
Sabit, congratulations.
Thank you,
Let
everyone.
me know.
I'll take the, where is it? The last one there, the Core 5 and Angular, please.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, next. Congratulations, Dave.
Thanks, guys. I'll take the software architecture one, please. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Sean, congratulations.
Thank you.
Which book do you want?
Which do we have left?
We have 2 of each, so you can ask one of the other ones if you want.
Is there an architecture one available?
Software architecture with C# 9 and .NET 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this title is no longer available. Let's give it another spin. Darren, leave some stuff for other people too. Come on.
Actually, Ricardo, if you can spin again, go for it. I've already won.
No,
Spin again.
but this is for the book, it's not for the JetBrains.
Ah, yeah, still though, to spread the wealth. Spin again. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Congratulations, Frank.
Thank
Which
you,
book do you
Ricardo.
want?
What have you got?
We have C#9 in .NET 5, and we have ASP.NET Core 5 in Angular.
C#.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Another spin. And Frank again.
I suppose do as Darren said there, give it a spin, somebody else win something.
Okay, I'm going to remove also your name so that it doesn't.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Frank and Darren. And we have Sabit.
I give it a pass as well, guys. Just remove my name, I think, or if somebody else's.
Thank you for that.
Congratulations, Sabit. How are you?
Thanks, Andre.
Sorry, I was a bit off. Had a bit of family emergency today, so I wasn't very present here on the meetup. So
Okay, congratulations, Vijay. Which book do you want? Are you with us, Vijay? Going once, going twice.
No.
Nope.
No.
Another spin. Congratulations, winner. What book do you want? You show as unmuted, but we can't hear you. You want to type?
ASP.NET Core and Angular.
Okay. And we have only one C#9 in .NET 5 left. So let's go for another spin. And congratulations, Bart.
Thank you.
Okay. Just send me a message through the Meetup page so I can get your email. Maybe some of you I already have, but just in case, send just a message so I can get your emails, and then I'll send you the book. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Gabriel, for sharing with us your knowledge. It was awesome talk and a great demo. I tried to break it as much as possible, registering and trying to log in and all of that, and it was really cool to see the pointers moving in the application. It was really interactive, maybe the most interactive demo that we had so far. So thank you again for that.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and speak to you soon.
Stay safe.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Bye.